Good afternoon, everyone. The convocation is about to begin. At this time, we ask you to please turn off all cell phones and other electronic devices. Please note that there are 2 photographers covering this event, one at the stage and one at the audience. Professional photos of your graduate will be available for purchase from Grad Images. Also, event photos will be available for free download at the Graduate School of Education commencement webpage, as well as on our Facebook page. We are live streaming this event on our website, and videos of the event will be available on our YouTube page. While we understand that you wish to take photos and video, we please kindly ask you to remain in your seats and keep the aisles clear. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise. It gives me great pleasure to present to you the Graduate School of Education graduating class of 2022!
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Wonderful. I'm Dr. Wanda J. Blanchette, and as Dean of the Graduate School of Education, I hereby convene this convocation for the Graduate School of Education at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. Please remain standing for our national anthem, performed by the Mason Grove School of the Arts Brass Quintet, accompanied by vocalist Rachel Silverstein.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please remain standing. Before we move further into our celebration this afternoon, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the tremendous challenges, the hardships, and the significant loss we have all experienced over the past 2 years. As we celebrate this great milestone today and begin to find our way back to what it undoubtedly will be a new normal, let us take a moment to reflect on the friends, family, colleagues, and students we have lost to and during this devastating pandemic. At this time, please join me for a moment of silence to remember all of those who cannot be with us today. Thank you, and please be seated. On behalf of President Jonathan Holloway, the Rutgers Board of Governors and Trustees, Chancellor Provost Conway, and the Rutgers administration, the alumni, the faculty, emeritus faculty, and the staff of this great university, it is indeed an honor and a pleasure to welcome you to this convocation of the Graduate School of Education for the graduating class of 2022. While we are all keenly aware that many individuals played a role in getting our graduates to this great day of celebration, I would like to acknowledge and thank our outstanding and dedicated GSC faculty and staff for all of their hard work, guidance, and mentoring, and a job well done. Would all GSC faculty and staff please stand and let us recognize you? Thank you. Next, I would like for you to help me to pay a special tribute to some of our very important individuals who are with us today. When I call your group, please stand and remain standing. Audience, please hold your applause until all have been called. Would the parents, partners, and spouses of our graduates please stand? Would the guardians, grandparents, siblings, and other family members please stand? And finally, but certainly not least, would the friends of our 2022 graduates please stand? 2022 graduates, please stand and thank all of these individuals who have contributed to your success. Whew. Thank you. Would you all please be seated? Thank you all so much for supporting our graduating class of 2022. Graduates and alumni, you can be very proud of your university and your school. Rutgers is one of the top universities in the nation, and the Rutgers GSE is one of the leading schools of education in the nation. U.S. News and World Report has consistently ranked the GSE as one of the best schools in the country, and this year, we are once again ranked among the top 50 schools in the nation. Yes. Next, I would like to introduce the distinguished guests joining us on the stage this afternoon. Once again, I'll ask each individual to stand when your name is called, and I will ask you, the audience, to please hold your applause until the last person is called. Our representatives from the Board of Trustees, please welcome Ms. Wilma M. Harris. Trustee Emeritus, Mr. Robert Eichert. Also joining us today, Vice Provost for Academic Affairs and GSE Professor, Dr. Sandra Tomlinson Clark. The President of the GSE Alumni Association, Dr. Barbara Truger. The past president of the GSE Alumni Association, Dr. Marilyn Gagnon. I would also like to introduce our retiring faculty who are with us today. Dr. Richard DeLisi, who served as the inaugural graduate program director of the GSE PhD program in education. He also served as chair of the Department of Educational Psychology and as dean of the GSE from 2003 to 2014. Dr. DeLisi is retiring after 44 years of service. Dr. Susan Goldbach, Associate Professor of Educational Psychology at the GSE, who will be retiring this summer after 42 years of service. And Dr. Catherine Lugg, who's not with us today, who retired in 2021 following 25 years of service as a professor in the Department of Educational Theory, Policy, and Administration. Let's give a big round of applause for our distinguished guests. Thank you. We are privileged to have all of them with us on this special afternoon. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job as dean if I didn't brag just a little bit on the Graduate School of Education. The GSE has had significant accomplishments thanks to the excellent work of the GSE faculty and staff over the last several years. Specifically, over the last 6 years, GSE has secured over $56 million in external grant awards, including prestigious awards from the National Science Foundation, the U.S. Department of Education, the Spencer Foundation, and the William T. Grant Foundation. These awards have helped us to advance research and practice in our 3 strategic priority areas. For example, our faculty were awarded grants totaling more than $14.7 million to support our research to advance diversity, equity, and social justice in education. Our faculty have also been awarded more than $16 million to support STEM in education, and over $25.4 million to support our work in the area of effective teaching and learning. I could not be more proud of our GSE faculty and staff who support all of us. Also this year, The Rutgers School of Graduate Studies recognized the GSC's Assistant Dean, Dr. Matt Winkler. You may see him running around. Where is Dr. Winkler? There he is. Dr. Winkler, not only does he help to manage and oversee this big production, but he was awarded the Excellence in Student Support Award for 2021-22 for his excellent service to our students. Congratulations, Dr. Winkler. A very well-deserved honor. I would also like to share that the GSC has acquired a second building. In addition to our offices at 10 Seminary Place, our teacher education program and the National Institute for Early Education Research are relocating to 536 George Street on the New Brunswick campus. Also, during the past year, the GSC was successfully reaccredited by the Council for the Accreditation of Education Preparation, we affectionately call CAPE, and we were reaccredited for 7 years, which is the highest level of accreditation that can be achieved. This was a tremendous amount of work on the part of all of our faculty and staff, and I'd like to take this opportunity to once again say thank you to each member of the GSE for your contributions, large and small, to this great effort. We literally could not have done it without you. And these are just a few of the highlights of the great work that takes place every day by the faculty, staff, and alumni as we advance excellence and equity in education. 2022 graduates, although we're very proud of our faculty, our staff, and our alums and their accomplishments, this afternoon, it's really all about you. We're thrilled to honor and celebrate 320 of you for your accomplishments today. You are seasoned professionals, career changers, eager recent graduates, and aspiring researchers. You are diverse in background and experience, and united in your passion for educational excellence and equity. A number of you have already enhanced the GSE with your achievements. We are especially proud to announce that out of the 9 Fulbright fellowships granted to Rutgers University this year as a whole, 3 of them went to GSE students, including 2 members of the graduating class of 2022. With their Fulbright English teaching assistantships, Sophia Ribeiro, class of 2022, will spend next year in Portugal. Eleanor Melly, also class of 22, is headed to Cambodia. And alumna Claire Kelly will be traveling to Taiwan. Congratulations to each of you. We're all sure that you will be outstanding in your respective fields and that this generation of Rutgers graduates will help transform education. You're joining an accomplished and distinguished group of over 16,000 living alumni consisting of educators, researchers, authors, performers, software developers, more than 20 university presidents, and over 150 school superintendents. You will take your place among this influential group of exceptional educators and leaders. Now, I would like to call forward Associate Dean for Teacher Education, Dr. Nora Hyland, who will announce the recipients of the Nancy Higginson Door Award. Dr. Hyland.
Thank you. The Nancy Higginson Door Award was established by her son to honor graduates who show promise of being exceptional teachers. Nancy Higginson Door attended the Dearborn Seminary in Chicago in the 1860s and later became a remarkable teacher who, according to one of her children, somehow kept alive the inborn curiosity and spirit of inquiry and exploration with which children are born. To the recipients of this award go deepest wishes that you might get from it the same fullness of life which it helped bring to her. Please stand when your name is read and remain standing until all names have been called. Grace Gardner, Nicholas Hahn, Dean Helstowski, Heidi Zhao, Sophia Ribeiro, Alexis Stasi, Jasmine Balzano, Bridget Coughlin, Kate Dobbs, Jessica Gardosi, Lauren Jacquish, Josian Martinez Gonzalez, Angelise Oramus, Maitreyi Raula, Elvis Reyes Colon, Brianna Roque, William Torito, and Allison Young. Congratulations to our Nancy Higginson Door winners. You may be seated. Thank you. And upon recommendation of the GSC Teacher Education faculty, these 15 students submitted dossiers for consideration for the New Jersey Distinguished Teacher Awards. These annual awards honor and publicly recognize the year's top 15 graduates from teacher education programs in the state of New Jersey. I'm pleased to announce that our committee has selected the following 3 students' dossiers to represent the GSE at this year's award. And I'd like these 3 students to stand again when I call their names. Angelise Aramis, Maithreya Ravula, and Alexis Stasi. Let's give them a round of applause.
Another round of applause for our students. Thank you, Dr. Hyland, and congratulations to our exceptional students. I now ask GSC Alumni Association President, Dr. Barbara Truger, and past President, Dr. Marilyn Gagnon, to present the GSC Alumni Association Student Awards and Faculty Award.
Thank you, everybody. This is indeed an honor and a privilege to be here in front of you. First, I'd like to present the Angelo L. Tommaso Excellence in Dissertation Award. The winner this year is Liana M. Sumi, and she wrote her dissertation on the topic, Exploring the Racial Beliefs and Instructional Leadership Behaviors of Culturally Responsive Urban Public School Principals. Please come up and receive your award. The second dissertation award is called the Arlene H. Urban Excellence in Dissertation Award, and this year's recipient is Linda Dexheimer. Her dissertation is titled, The Black Student Protest Movement at Rutgers, a Case of Compromise and Qualified Success. And our third dissertation winner is the Evelyn Headley Award for Outstanding Dissertation. The winner is Lisa M. Knox Brown. The title of her dissertation is Through Their Eyes, the Impact of Intersectionality on Enrollment Retention in a Predominantly White Institution.
Another round of applause for excellence. Thank you, Drs. Truger and Gagnon, and members of the GSE Alumni Association for your support of the GSE and all that you do to help to support our outstanding doctoral students and our faculty. I'd also like to just say at this moment, this is a very special year for us. Not only is it the GSE's 99th anniversary, but it also marks the 90th year anniversary of the Graduate School of Education Alumni Association. So congratulations to all GSEAA members. It is now my privilege to welcome two very special guests. Each year, the faculty select an individual or individuals who demonstrate passion, dedication, and leadership in the profession of education and in support of the GSE's mission in New Jersey and beyond. Past award winners have included educators, leaders of industry, authors, and more. I would first now like to introduce you to Dr. Barbara Gaba, our distinguished award winner for her leadership and innovation in higher education with the focus on traditionally underserved students. During her 35-year career, Dr. Gaba has served as a teacher, a researcher, and administrator, and has devoted her career to working with underserved and underrepresented students. She was appointed the 9th president of Atlantic Cape Community College in January of 2017, becoming the first female and the first African-American president in the college's 50-year history. She is deeply committed to the mission of the community college to provide affordable education and pathways for student success. Dr. Gaba has received numerous awards and recognitions, so I will only name a few. She's an inductee of the Rutgers African American Alumni Alliance Hall of Fame, a recipient of the 2019 Women of Achievement for Cape May County Leadership Award from the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and the Education Leader Award by the NAACP of Mainland and Pleasantville. Dr. Gaba, we are so happy to welcome you back home to the Rutgers GSE as one of our most accomplished alumna, and to recognize you as the GSE's 2022 Distinguished Leader in Education Award recipient. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's for that kind introduction. It's so good to be back home. I graduated in 1972, and when I came to graduation back then for GSC, we didn't have air conditioning, and all this digital stuff wasn't here, but it's so good to be back. It's with gratitude that I'm recognized for my leadership in education by the Graduate School of Education. It's really very, very humbling, and thank you so much. I'd like to thank those who nominated me and selected me for this recognition. Being chosen for this distinction by my alma mater is truly an honor, and I am proud to be recognized for making a difference in the lives of those we serve in our community. My career in higher education started over 35 years ago, shortly after I graduated from Rutgers GSE. When I first began my career, it never occurred to me that one day I would become a college president or I'd be standing here before you this afternoon. So for me, leadership has been a transformational journey. No doubt the memorable time I spent here at GSE has played a very, very important role in shaping my career. Over the years, I've had the pleasure of working in so many areas of higher education, taking on progressive responsibilities along the way, so that when the opportunity presented itself, I was well prepared to take on the presidency. Now, as the 9th president of Atlantic Cape and the first African American and first female in the college's history, all I do each and every day is to serve the students of my community with a passion. Our goal is to provide inclusive, accessible, and equitable educational programs and services to transform the lives and empower students to successfully meet their academic, social, and career goals while supporting the diverse needs of our community. For Atlantic Cape Community College, community is a part of our name, and so we go about our work every day, and we take the word community very seriously. From our associate degree programs, to workforce training, to early college programs for our high school students, we are creating opportunity for the citizens of Atlantic and Cape May counties. I am very, very proud of that. I view myself as an advocate for students and their success. For many students, the community college is a place that represents where they can get an affordable education before transferring to a four-year college or entering the workforce. Many of my students, our students, are first in their family to attend college, just as I was. Many are non-traditional students coming back to college later in life. We have somebody graduating tomorrow at my college who waited 40 years, and at the age of 57, she's getting her associate's degree and moving on. Very inspirational. I always say that our role is to transform the lives of students, one student at a time. And many are facing challenging life circumstances or other obstacles that they have to overcome in order to get to college and earn a degree. So to be in a position to help students reach their educational goals has been very, very satisfying for me. My journey in higher education has always been driven by a passion for service. Guiding and helping students reach their goals is what ignites me every single day. As you embark on your next chapter, graduates, I trust you will be guided by your passion as well. I am very grateful that my career path started right here at GSE and that I've had the opportunity to make a difference through my leadership because I believe it is up to us as leaders to use the power and influence we are given to lift up our communities and create a positive change. So in closing, I'd like to thank you again for this esteemed honor. And I should also mention Rutgers is very much in my family because 35 years after I graduated from GSC, my daughter graduated from GAZAP, the Graduate School of Applied Psychology, and she's doing very well and loved Rutgers. So I thank you very much, and I work every day, and I will continue to work every day to be worthy of the honor and recognition bestowed upon me today, and I will continue to be a proud graduate of GSE.
Thank you. Another round of applause for President Gaba. Just remember, graduates, that you too will be up here one day receiving such recognition for your impact on society. Next, I am delighted to introduce to you Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings, recipient of our Distinguished Scholarship and Research Award, and also our keynote speaker this afternoon. Dr. Ladson-Billings is the GSE's inaugural Distinguished Race and Social Justice and Education Scholar in Residence. She's the former Kellner Family Distinguished Professor of Urban Education in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction and faculty affiliate in the Department of Educational Policy Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. She was the president of the American Educational Research Association from 2005 to 2006. She is a critically acclaimed author, former editor of the American Educational Research Journal, and a member of several editorial boards. Dr. Ladson-Billings' work has won numerous scholarly awards, including the National Education Academy Spencer Postdoctoral Fellowship, and the Palmer O. Johnson Outstanding Research Award. During the 2003-2004 academic year, she was a fellow at the Center for Advanced Study in the Behavioral Sciences at Stanford University. In the fall of 2014, she received the George and Louis Splendor Award from the Council on Anthropology and Education for significant and ongoing contributions to the field of educational anthropology. She holds domestic and international honorary degrees and was the 2018 recipient of the AERA Distinguished Research Award and is an elected member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. It is now my honor to present Dr. Gloria Ladson Billings as our award winner for her distinguished leadership and scholarship focused on race and social justice in education.
Thank you, Dean Blanchett, and thank you, Rutgers GSE. Good evening. I have to tell y'all, I'm Baptist, so you have to talk back to me, right? I am delighted to be here. Those of you who follow me on Instagram know it was quite a journey for me to get here, right? I started out at 6 o'clock this morning and just got here about 10 minutes before we marched in here, so it's really been, and then they have the nerve to tell me I'm still in Big Ten country. I'm like, really? Because I've been traveling all day, you know. I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to see these graduates. I know your family members are delighted because they are presuming that you will get a decent paying job and get up out of their pockets soon. But I do want to switch to a bit of a somber note for a moment. First, let me thank Dean Blanchett for acknowledging what we have been through in the past few years, and we have marked a horrific milestone in this country of a million people passing related to COVID-19. But I also don't want you to forget, and I want you to hold in your heart the 10 individuals and their families from Buffalo. Those kinds of events diminish all of us. None of us feel safe in the midst of this. None of us can rejoice when we see what happens to people who are just going about doing their daily lives. So just please remember those families, because this will not be a good commencement season for lots of families in the Buffalo area. So they tell me I have about 10 minutes, and if you know anything about University of Professors, we can hardly get our names out in 10 minutes. So I'm going to push forward and try to make this happen. Motivational speaker, lawyer, author, life coach, and television personality, Iyanla Vanzant often tells a client who will not face the reality of a situation or insist on using a euphemism to describe a bad situation, "Beloved, let's call a thing a thing." That admonition seems especially prescient as a new group of scholars embarks upon the realities of the world that they are facing. Also, I think the real work of scholarship is the search for the truth. Interesting, in my own home institution, the University of Wisconsin-Madison, we are known for a statement of its Board of Regents. The statement was made on September 18th, 1894, and partially states, "Whatever may be the limitations, which trammel inquiry elsewhere, we believe that the great State University of Wisconsin should ever encourage that continual and fearless sifting and winnowing by which alone the truth can be found. Now, the Regents made this statement in defense of a faculty member who was an economist who promoted trade unions and a serious examination of socialism. His academic interests fell on the wrong side of then Superintendent of Public Instruction Oliver Wells, who charged Professor Eli with, quote, teaching students socialism and other vicious theories. Almost 200 people showed up to attend Professor Eli's hearing, among them prominent economists from across the country. E. Benjamin Andrews, who was president of Brown University, wrote that Eli was the most influential teacher of political economy. And I will quote, "For your noble university to depose him," declared Andrews, "would be a great blow at freedom of university teaching in general and at the development of political economy in particular." As Eli pondered his fate, he also considered the fate of academics elsewhere. He said, "If I am slaughtered, others in universities will perish. And what will become of free speech, I do not know." Fortunately, Professor Eli did not have to worry about that because the university's Board of Regents voted unanimously to uphold his tenure at the university. A few weeks ago, I viewed Prairie View A&M University President and President Emerita of Brown University and Smith College, Ruth Simmons, on a panel with Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates, Jr., discussing the recently released report, Harvard and the Legacy of Slavery, Reckoning with the Past to Understand the Present. What struck me about President Simmons' remarks was her contrast between growing up Black and female in Texas in the 1950s and 60s and regularly being told she wasn't pretty enough, she wasn't smart enough, she wasn't worthy enough to consider pursuing post-secondary education. That contrasted with her deep-seated belief that universities were the place where one could fearlessly search for the truth. Today, we find ourselves in a moment not unlike that in which Wisconsin's Professor Eli found himself in the late 1800s. We have people proclaiming that we are indoctrinating young people to hate America and to destroy the nation. We have legislators and political operatives attacking a legal theory, banning books, and declaring that they are anti-CRT. But I want to invoke Iyanla Van Zant and call a thing a thing. These folks are not anti-CRT. They are anti-truth telling. Because if we cannot tell the truth about slavery and racism, or gender inequity, or gender identity, then we are anti-truth telling. We will not call a thing a thing. Now, I'm not naive. Some of you will leave the protection of the academy and never utter a single word about race, LGBTQ issues, or equity and justice for that matter. You will secret yourself away in the gopher hole of an academic discipline and pretend that none of these so-called contentious issues have anything to do with you. You will want to protect your jobs, your careers, your livelihood. You will ask yourself, why should I buy that trouble? None of this impacts me. Oh, but they do. Every day that you avoid confronting inequity and injustice, discrimination and persecution is a day that draws you closer to totalitarianism, authoritarianism, and indeed fascism. Vladimir Putin is not the only bad actor in our world. People who want to control the ballot box or squelch public debate about our history or tell women what they can and cannot do regarding their health while being content to allow obscene infant and maternal mortality rates are not acting in the best interest of democracy. I'm not saying we can't have divergent viewpoints on issues. What I am saying, as a polite language as I can muster, is don't urinate on me and tell me it's raining. Let us call a thing a thing. As graduates in the midst of a very difficult time to be in education, low morale, heated attacks on academic freedom, declining enrollment in teacher education programs, and record-level attrition, I want to remind you of a little something known as facts. Education reporter Anya Kamenetz shared the findings of a recent poll that was done by NPR and Ipsos. And those findings say that while education still remains a top concern for parents, falling right behind inflation and crime, a close look shows that parents are in fact happy with the schools and their children's teachers. Of those polled, a whopping 88% agreed that, quote, my child's teachers have done the best they could given the circumstances surrounding the pandemic. Another large number, 82%, agree that, quote, my child's school has handled the pandemic well. It isn't just handling the pandemic where school satisfaction comes into play for parents. They also feel well informed when it comes to what is actually taking place inside the classroom. And 76% of those polled are in agreement that my child's school does a good job keeping me informed about the curriculum, including potentially controversial topics. To get a clearer picture of this, only 18% of the parents taking the survey said that their children were taught about sexuality and gender in a way that they opposed. A mere 19% said the same thing about race and racism. And even less, 14% felt that way about how U.S. history was being taught. So I share these data with you as a reminder of your obligation to keep working for the best interests of students no matter what and at no matter what level. Search fearlessly for the truth. Learn to sit in your own discomfort. And above all, let's call a thing a thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings, for reminding us to call a thing a thing. Thank you. Well, now we have another exciting speaker coming your way. I would like to call forward Dr. Lisa Belzer, who will introduce our student speaker.
Thank you, Dean Blanchett. When Jared Broadway applied to the EDM program in adult and continuing education, he made clear that he himself was an engaged and enthusiastic adult learner. He didn't get that way until he was in his 40s, at which point he restarted his college career and zoomed through it. He didn't do it to advance his career or his pay. He did it for himself and to set an example for his children. Before he had even finished his undergraduate degree, he had already applied to the master's program. In fact, he had to defer his admission to the program until he actually got his BA. And he has continued on in just the same way. Jared is the epitome of an adult learner, self-motivated, constantly asking how he can make sense of and use what he is learning, and an active member of the learning community of the program. He was already an adult educator when he came to the program, and I can only hope that his completion of it will make him even better than I know he already is. I find Jared's experiences compelling, and I'm sure you'll agree that his insights are inspiring and apply to all educators, regardless of the learners they serve. So please join me in welcoming the GSE's 2022 student speaker, Jared Broadway.
GSE, we made it. We made it. So today's an exciting day. It's a milestone. It's an accomplishment. Today marks the official end of one chapter, but it's not really an ending. It's actually a new beginning. So to be able to stand here with each of you and celebrate our accomplishments amid a pandemic, amid political strife and turmoil, amid all the events going on in the world today is nothing short of remarkable. So, I want to share my story and how I ended up here. In 1994, about a week before I graduated high school, I failed my math final. And my guidance counselor called me into the office and said that since I failed the final, I wouldn't be able to walk with my graduating class. So you realize how devastating that is to a high schooler, everybody you've grown up with, and you watch them walk across the stage, you're not there. It was a life lesson, but I got through it. I went to summer school. 6 weeks later, standing in the main office, they pretty unceremoniously handed me my high school diploma in an envelope. I stood there, looked at it, tucked it back in the envelope, and moved on. That's what we have to do. We have to keep moving on. Everyone's career path is different. I'm a career first responder. And as a cop and a paramedic, I've had a lot of great experiences, and I've learned a lot along the way. College wasn't for me for many years, despite what my mother sitting behind me, my wife, said, go to college, go back to school, go back to school, go back to school. It wasn't for me at the time. But when it was time, I re-enrolled. So back in 2018, I re-enrolled in Thomas Edison State University, and 2 years later, I finished my bachelor's degree. Like Dr. Belzer said, rolled right into this master's degree because I had to keep the momentum going. Right before I graduated, little bug swept across the globe, you may have heard of it, COVID-19, and my undergraduate graduation was canceled. So 26 years after I missed my high school graduation, I missed my college graduation. This time due to circumstances outside of my control, but no less disheartening. So to be able to stand here with each of you today, with your family, my wife, my mother, everybody, my family and friends that came to visit, your family, your friends, it means more to me than most of you will ever realize. So we are all educators, and as we move back into the world, I say, whatever you do, make learning fun. Make sure that people feel valued, make sure they feel included, and make sure that they know their experiences matter. Whether you're going to be teaching in a K through 12 setting, post-secondary education, or out in the corporate world, learners want to feel valued. They want to know that the information you're delivering is beneficial and applicable. So make sure we use the right tool for the right job. Can you screw a screw into a board with a hammer? Can you hammer it in? Absolutely. Would a screwdriver work better? Sure it would. Use methods that motivate and inspire learning. So I'm going to leave you with 3 things. 1, stay the course. The future is in our hands, and we can change the face of education. We can change how young children are taught. We can change how high schoolers are prepared to enter the world once they graduate. We can change how we train our police officers. That's no easy feat, and you'll likely face some opposition along the way, but you must stay the course. Many of you already know, and some will soon learn, that the road of life is full of twists and turns, roadblocks and dead ends. Sometimes we make bad decisions. When we do, learn from them, try to fix it, and move on. Sometimes you're the best, you're the fastest, you're the brightest, and you still don't get picked. But you have to stay the course. Because there's a reason we're here. You might never realize the impact that you have on your students. You might never know how what you do, what you teach, or how you teach will affect somebody. But we have to stay the course so we can continue to make a difference in our students' lives. Number 2, words matter. Our words can be the catalyst that inspires excellence, or it can be the anchor that pulls someone down and keeps them from ever reaching their potential. Know that words can ruin a good day, or they can make a bad day a little bit better. Remember, what you say matters, and when you leave here today, use your words to be the reason someone smiles today. And lastly, I say, send the elevator back down. When I was 21 years old, I got hired as an EMT in Newark, New Jersey. And Newark can be a tough town. The guy, Wendell Andrews, he pulled me aside and he said, I'm going to look out for you because when I got hired, one of the older guys looked out for me. And he told me when you reach a certain level in life, you need to send the elevator back down for the people coming up behind you. 21-year-old Jared didn't really know what he meant by that. 45-year-old Jared knows exactly what he meant by that. I've been on the elevator for a few years, and I've learned some lessons from the triumphs and tragedies in both EMS and law enforcement. So now it's time for me to send the elevator back down to the first responders coming up behind me. Hopefully they can learn from some of the things I've learned and also the mistakes that I've made along the way. And I want to make sure that they have the same ride or even a better ride than I had. So send the elevator back down for the new teacher who's just embarking on their career. Send the elevator back down for the seasoned employee who's expressed an interest in taking on new responsibilities. Send the elevator back down for the parent returning to the workforce after taking time off to raise their family. Don't be threatened by somebody joining you at the top. Don't be threatened by the potential success of others, because as an educator, their success is your success. So congratulations, thank you, and I am so honored to be standing here with each of you today.
Another round of applause for Jared. Wow. Thank you so much for those inspiring words and for imploring all of us to send the elevator back down. And now, the moment you have all been waiting for. Yes. Yeah. I know. You thought we'd never get here, but it has arrived. In just a moment, we will begin calling students to the stage to be recognized as new graduates of the Rutgers GSE. Before we begin, I'd like to ask that we agree to a few ground rules. After your name is called, please return to your seat and remain standing at your seat until the final recession. Remain seated at your seat till the final recession. Guests, I'm going to also ask you to stay at your seats as well. As you all know, it is customary for the dean to shake hands and to have a photo with each graduate. Since we're still in the midst of a pandemic, we will not shake hands, but I'm happy to bump, elbow bump, and we will still take pictures together. Does that sound okay to you? Thank you. I would now like to invite to the podium Dr. Drew Katomer, who will call forward the Doctor of Philosophy and the Doctor of Education candidates. Yes.
Okay. As people are coming up, I just want to say, Jared Broadway, that was one heck of a presentation, a talk, so thank you all. Okay. The PhD and EDD students will be hooded by their dissertation advisor or faculty designee, and then return to your seats. The Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Education candidates will be announced by hooder as opposed to alphabetically as they are listed in the program. Each candidate will be hooded by their advisor or a faculty designee. We'll now be calling the Doctor of Education graduates. We'll now be calling the Doctor of Philosophy and Higher Education graduates. Maren J. Greathouse, the influence of mental health and campus climate on the academic engagement, academic disengagement, and academic success of queer spectrum college students. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Catherine Lugg. Tennille Haynes, Race Women of the Academy, examining the lived experiences of Black women, diversity, equity, and inclusion educators at historically white colleges and universities. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Abilia Hernandez. Roberto Orozco. Aquí entre nos, examining the identity and socio-political consciousness development of queer, Latinx, AO college student activists. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Abilia Hernandez. Ashley A. Forsyth, Post-Graduation Outcomes for College Students, More Than Numbers, a Mixed Method Study. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Benjamin Justice. We will now be calling the Doctor of Philosophy graduates. Ajay Srikanth, 3 essays on the equity and adequacy of K-12 school funding for English language learners, a national analysis. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Bruce Baker. Jessica DiCola. In college, I'm the one people go to. Lessons from successful developmental literacy students about the transition to college-level courses across disciplines. Advisor, Dr. Elisa Belzer. Moraima Castro Matus Nicodemos, exploring issues in learning progression research in the context of a genetics learning progression. Dissertation chair, Dr. Ravit Duncan. Marianne Vanier, NGSS and the new role for physics teachers, reflections of pre-service physics teachers as windows on the learning, development, and enduring of science practices. Dissertation chair, Dr. Eugenia Etkina. Rachel F. Dickler, an intelligent tutoring system and teacher dashboard to support students on mathematics and science inquiry. Dissertation chair, Dr. Janice Gobert. We will now be calling the Doctor of Education graduates. Sandra D. Lynch, Transitioning Youth with Disabilities into Society Post-Secondary, Supports and Implications. Dissertation chair, Dr. Judith Harrison. Amanda Crystal Flores Martin, a qualitative study, parental involvement as defined by parents and special educators. Dissertation chair, Dr. Judith Harrison. Christy Clementina Perez, Cultivating a Sense of Belonging, examining the effectiveness of the Urban Male Leadership Academy Scholars Program in promoting academic success and serving as an intervention to increase enrollment, retention, and graduation rates of Black and Latino males. Chair, Dr. Benjamin Justice. Julianne M. Bello, examining hiring patterns that inform selection of principals, representative bureaucracy, and how human resources practices can impact student outcomes. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Cheryl McLean. Katrina Gallo, Parental Attachment and the Coping Skills of First-Year College Students. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Cheryl McLean. Melissa Stowicki, Flipping the Script, Rewriting Identity in the Figured World of School. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Leslie Morrill. Deborah Usman, The Voices of College Students with Disabilities. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Angela O'Donnell. Tina Zorilla Rivera, Improving Student Academic Productivity Within Remote Instruction, Investigating the Effectiveness of Virtual SECO. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Angela O'Donnell. Christopher J. Zegar, The Effects of Reflective Scripts on Argument and Collaboration in Teacher PLCs, a Case Study. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Angela O'Donnell. Madonna Afriye Adams, Math Concepts, an experimental design to improve math performance. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Sharon Ryan. Randy N. Mayers, the social capital first-generation students use to succeed in college, a qualitative investigation of the Educational Opportunity Fund Program. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Sharon Ryan. Anna R. Sandberg, Student Perspectives on Pre-Departure Orientation and Study Abroad, a Mixed Methods Analysis. Dissertation Chair, Dr. Sharon Ryan. Aaron L. Gibbs. It's Not About Me, a phenomenological examination of work calling in higher education leaders. Dissertation chair, Dr. Tanya Sargent. Erica Bialik, Integrating Social Justice into Middle School Mathematics. Dissertation chair, Dr. Sandra Tomlinson Clark.
Another round of applause. Will all PhD and all EDD candidates please rise? Yes. We're waiting for our final candidate to join the group, so another round of applause. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Graduate School of Education, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the President of the University and the Board of Governors and Trustees of the University, I do now formally bestow upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Education with all of the rights, responsibilities, privileges, and amenities appertaining thereunto, both here and elsewhere. Congratulations. You may now be seated. I would now like to call forward Professor Lisa Belzer back to the stage for the awarding of the Educational Specialist, Masters of Arts, and Masters of Education degrees.
We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Adult and Continuing Education. Jared Broadway. Catherine Abarca. Congratulations. Anthony Alvarez. Amina Khan. Drew Nicholas Mazer. Ayana Mortley. Congratulations. Catherine Oliver. Congratulations. Yvette Rosario. Scott Schur. So nice to see these students in the flesh. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in College Student Affairs. Alexis Anderson. Ariel Chun. Angel Cordero Gonzalez. Samantha Demars. Kelsey Dunn. Julacy Gomez. Sierra Gray. Ryan Johnson. Lauren Curtin. Dominic Nalbandian. Jarrell Saunders Didymus. Alcedos Vanderpool. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Dance Education. Kayla Alvarez. Nava Branham Shabahang. Jacqueline Corelli. Kara Kamensky. Josian Martinez Gonzalez. Michaela Minnock. Cassidy Rivas. Zoe Rose. Cassandra Ruby Annis. We'll now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Education, Culture, and Society. Natasha Innes. Alexa Baird. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Educational Administration and Supervision. Elijah Brown. Kamau Cooper. Scott Royster. Eric Zott. Ryan Yor. Asha Alston. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Early Childhood Elementary Education. Jolene Berardi. Nicole Carroll. Hannah Cho. Alexandra Colado. Sarah Connors. Kristen Catherine Cooper. Bridget Coughlin. Megan Chris. Sarah Dolan. Mario Reyes. Alexa Kathleen D'Amato. Nicole Doucette. Jacqueline Eichhorn. Jessica Feldman. Elizabeth Finnegan. Julianne Gallo. Jessica Gasparino. Alyssa Gabor. Thomas Giles. It says, oh, like giant. Abigail Gillen. Gillen or Gillen? Debbie Ham. Jackson Hayes. Janelle Huang. Amanda Indike. Heidi Zhao. Nicole Jimenez. Jillian Kakalechik. Kelly Kramer. Grace Lee. Sarah Martinez. Mary Kate McGee. Patrick McNellis. Susanna Newsbaum. Angelise Oramas. Sophia Ribeiro, excuse me. Ribeiro. Brianna Roque. Brianna Ryan. Madison Sandomino. Sarah Shaw. Timothy William Skinner. Akira Smalls. Chelsea Smith. Samantha Sullivan. Alexandria Suko. Jillian Trumbauer. Sabrina Veldran. Kelsey Waite. Alexandria Wong. Caitlin Yu. Jia Chen Zhao. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in English Language Arts Education. Jamie Shadid. Sarah Dweck. Avery Elford. Margot Jacobs. Lauren Jackwish. Thomas January. Maha Khan. Crystal Lamb. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Language Education. Javier Alfonso Cortez. Maria Dominguez. Shayla Feliciano. Gabriela Gonzalez. Tasneem Ibrahim. Layla Khalil. Carolina Londono. Alexa McLean. Oh, Alexa McLean. Alexa McLean, sorry. Don't say McLean. Kaylee Nam. Julia Nixon. Elvis Reyes Colon. Leslie Diana Rodas. Uh-oh. Gregory Ty. Oh. Oh, okay.
I'm going to go back to English now.
We're returning to English language arts education. Teresa Liu. No, we skipped one. Eugene Park. Maitreyi Reula. Alexandra Rossetti. Taylor Sorensen. Rachel Spillane. Okay, we're really done with English language arts now. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Learning, Cognition, and Development. Ejan Allen. Devin Gardner. Kristen Hearn. Kristen Junkett. Casey Krause. Pooja Makijani. Carlisa Wallace. Rachel Yepes. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Math Education. Satyen Baldev. Cindy Cruz. Gabrielle Perazza. Genyuan Ma. Marianne Shake. Alexis Stacy. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Reading Education. Stephanie Jennis. Nicole Maraventano. Kelsey Morgan. Carly Twillman. Anne-Marie Wernland. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in School Counseling. Shayna Britton. Olivia Cheek. Devin Gagstetter. Jillian Lagors. Mengu Liu. Vanessa Rodriguez. Jeffrey Sanchez. Mariam Sruji. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Science Education. Jordan Glick. Nicholas Hahn. Paul Katzer. Hand it to me so I can just look. Lorena Mendoza. Let's see if I can study. Sana Rasul. Abigail Sue. Samantha Strauss. Allison Young. You tell me when to go. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Social Studies Education. Eddie Ariba. Danielle Chella. Mark Dahmer. Faith D'Alessandro. Kate Dobbs. Ryan Gillen. Dean Helstowski. Matthew LaQuaglia. Veronica McMaster. Joseph, just first and last. Joseph Martinez. Eleanor Melly. Evan Royds. Zachary Spencer. Milena Valenti. Quinlan Van Ness. Ryan Webster. Can I have it so I can look? Okay. We will now be calling the Master of Education graduates in Special Education. Jasmine Belzano. Karen Beinhacker. Shannon Bobb. Kelsey Carpino. Justine Chen. Marissa Cohen. Sarah Correa. Caitlin Delahanty. Gianna Delviscovo. Angelina Di Cataldo, thank you. Laura Donnelly. I'd rather get help than say it wrong. Nayla Amini. Lucinda Fisher. Megan Gallagher. Jessica Gardozzi. Kyle Higgins. Tiffany Hughes. Catherine Jones. Emily Miller. Alexis Roustas. Alexis Burton. Jessica Cutney. Amanda Scofie. Naveen Mahmood. Natalie Maria Riggio. Janine Ann Ryan. Shannon McCarthy, excuse me. Samantha Smalley. Catherine Sanchez. Letitia Neal. Amanda Sullivan. Vincent Verteramo. Camilla Williams. Christy Casey. Andre Fleming, Jr. Stephanie Rodriguez Acosta. And last but certainly not least, Zakiya Ahmed.
Another round of applause for our graduates, please. Woo. Will all of the education specialists, Masters of Arts, and Master of Education candidates please rise? Yeah. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Graduate School of Education, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the president of the university, the Board of Governors and Trustees of the university, I do now formally bestow upon each of you the degree Master of Education, Master of Arts and Education Specialist, with all of the rights, responsibilities, privileges, and immunities appertaining thereunto, both here and elsewhere. Congratulations. Please remain standing. Will all the graduates please rise? All graduates. As Dean of the Rutgers Graduate School of Education, I, on this 18th day of May, 2022, herewith declare, pronounce, and acclaim each and every one of you as graduates of the Graduate School of Education at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. You may now turn your tassels from right to left. Congratulations. And now, let's welcome back the Mason Gross Brass Quintet and Rachel Silverstein as they lead us in singing our alma mater and all of our new graduates' alma mater.
From far and near we came to Rutgers and resolved to learn all that we can. And so we settled down in that noisy college town on the banks of the old Raritan. On the banks of the old Raritan, my friends, where old Rutgers evermore shall stand. For has she not stood since the time of the flood on the banks of the old Raritan? Then sing aloud to alma mater, and keep the scarlet in the van. For with her motto high, Rutgers' name shall never die on the banks of the old Raritan. On the banks of the old Raritan, my friends, where old Rutgers evermore shall stand. For has she not stood since the time of the flood on the banks of the old Raritan?
Thank you. Please be seated. Dr. Winkler is going to give us some directions as we prepare to exit in just a few minutes.
Okay. Okay, everybody. So far, you've done really well, except for English Ed. I don't know what happened over there. Overall, nice job, everybody. As we leave this afternoon, the faculty will exit the stage center and head to the back of the facility. Family and friends, please go up and out through the doors you came through. Meet your graduates out on the large grassy area in front of Jersey Mike's Arena. Graduates, after the faculty has exited, please leave from the steps that lead up either side of the front of the building. Meet your family and friends out front and enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and the rest of your summer. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you all for coming. As we recess, again, I ask our guests to remain at your seats to allow all graduates to pass through the aisles without obstruction until the end of the recessional. Will faculty and guests please rise? Faculty and guests, please rise. As Dean of the Rutgers Graduate School of Education on this 18th day of May 2022, I hereby formally adjourn our 99th convocation. Thank you.